Imagine being born into nobility, handed power, money, and status, and still growing up rude, arrogant, and completely useless. That's how aristocratic young ladies are described in this world, either sharp-tongued nightmares who look down on everyone, or empty-headed dolls raised on etiquette and flowers. And honestly, most people believe that's just how nobles are. In a world where magic determines your worth, nobles reign supreme with their three-star power, until one commoner proves them all wrong. This is Derek, a slum kid from a forgotten village called Ebelstein. Here, there's an old man who brags about being a mage but can barely use one-star magic. He's got a nasty temper and everyone avoids him. But one day, Derek does the unthinkable. He asks the old man to teach him magic. Surprisingly, the old man agrees. Derek begins his training, and the old man is shocked. This kid learns fast. In just 1 year, Derek becomes a one-star mage. But one night, the old man reveals a harsh truth. Noble kids reach 3 stars before they're even adults. Magic is all about bloodlines. There's an immeasurable wall between nobles and commoners. For Derek, that night feels unbearably long. The next morning, Derek finds the old man dead. He tried to steal a 2-star spellbook and was beaten to death by guards. No one understands why he did it, except Derek. He digs a grave, lays the old man to rest, and buries him with his own hands. Then, a notification appears. A system, and Derek realizes the truth. He's not from this world. 4 years pass. Derek joins a mercenary corps, still using only 1-star magic to stay under the radar. Then he meets Katia Flameheart, a fallen noble, now a 3-star mage working as a mercenary. She notices Derek's talent and begins teaching him advanced magic. One day, Katia and Derek sit together after training. She studies him carefully. "You have real talent in magic, Derek, but let me warn you, don't be greedy." She continues teaching him, pushing him further. During practice, Derek casts a spell that's way too difficult for a normal 1-star mage. Everyone in the room freezes, alert, watching. Katia immediately grabs Derek and pulls him outside into an empty street. Listen carefully. Commoners who reach 3 stars are extremely rare. What you just used? That was a 2-star spell. Auditory hallucination. You need to be more careful. The system appears again, showing his progress. Katia travels with Derek, teaching him various spells and the brutal realities of noble society. After a year together, she's recruited as a tutor by a count to teach their child. Before leaving, she gives Derek a parting gift, a 2-star magic spellbook. Another year passes, making it 4 years total since the old man died. Derek masters everything in the book and reaches the peak of 2-star magic at just 16 years old. When Derek visits the mercenary guild, the master, Jaden, has a special request for him. It's from the Grand Duchy of House Duplan. Derek raises an eyebrow. "Why would a Grand Duchy hire people like us?" Jaden grins enthusiastically. "Money, kid, and future connections. If we do this job right, we'll have ties with them." The job? Subjugate monsters in duchy territory. Derek's suspicious. Why would a duchy need mercenaries for mere monsters? He tries to refuse. Nobles mean trouble. Get someone else to do it. But Jaden insists. "We need a mage for this. And mages are rare in mercenary work." As Derek's about to leave, Jaden tosses him a gold coin. That's just the advance. Derek reluctantly accepts. Jaden takes him to meet the clients. A butler, a nanny, and a hooded woman. The butler, arrogant and dismissive, sneers at Derek. "I don't want to entrust this job to a child who isn't even an adult yet." He tries to leave, but the nanny whispers something to him. They stay. Derek heads out and annihilates all the monsters with ease, showing his work to the 3 clients. 1 day passes. Back at camp, Derek voices his suspicions. Something's off. They're all lying about who they are. Jaden shrugs. "We don't need to dig deeply into their business. We're here for money, not answers." The next day, Derek clears out the remaining monsters and collects the payment. Jaden praises him for doing such a good job. The arrogant butler, now visibly impressed and clearly irritated by Derek's skill, offers a new request. 15 gold coins. Derek accepts instantly, poker-faced. The scene shifts. Derek and Jaden enter the Grand Duchy of Duplan. Before entering the estate, the butler introduces himself properly. "I am Delon, Grand Steward serving Grand Duke Duplan. I apologize for concealing my status." The nanny steps forward. "I'm Katrina, the Grand Duke's headmaid." Derek nods, unfazed. Then the third person lowers her hood. Aiseline Eleanor Duplan, the eldest daughter of the Grand Duke. She looks directly at Derek. "I want to hire you as a tutor for my younger sister Diela." The scene shifts to the Grand Duke's residency. A door slams open. A man barges into the room where the Grand Duke and his son are meeting. "Father, Valerian, please, take a look at this." The Grand Duke responds calmly. "Reg, conduct yourself with dignity." But Reg doesn't care about dignity right now. "Dignity? What about Diela, your youngest daughter? She's laying hands on the people I hired, 10 servants quit last month because of her. Valerian, the son, tries to calm the situation. Lower your voice. We're in a meeting. Reg ignores him completely. He storms to the Grand Duke's table and slams his hand down. How long are you going to keep a blind eye on that thug? Valerian stands up, shouting. Reg, that's enough. Leave. But Reg still doesn't stop. We have Iseline. We should let go of Diela. The Duke's voice is ice cold. It's not for you to decide, but Reg insists. Then send her to some church. Make her serve people rather than being a burden on this family. That crosses the line. The Duke slams Reg's head down onto the table. That is not your decision to make. Reg lifts his head, blood trickling down. A time will come when you'll have to make a decision. The scene shifts to a hallway. Iseline and Derek walk toward the Duke's residency. Iseline breaks the silence. Did you know about my younger sister? Derek replies simply. I saw her on the registry. Iseline's voice drops. She's not known to the public. Suddenly, they encounter Valerian and Reg in the hallway. They exchange greetings. Valerian gestures to Reg's injury. As Reg is hurt, we're in a hurry. Excuse us. They pass by. Derek observes his surroundings. Maids crying in corners. Reg with bruises. Something is very wrong here. They enter the Duke's office. The Duke looks up. I'm relieved you're doing well in Ebelstein. I hear you've brought a tutor for Diela from there. His tone makes it clear. He doesn't really care. Iseline and Derek are about to leave. But the Duke stops Derek. Wait. He sends Iseline out. The Duke begins writing, not even looking at Derek. You're quite young. 16, you've said? Can you handle magic to some extent? Derek replies carefully. I can handle a bit of one-star magic. The Duke smiles, amused. There's no reason to lie. Humility doesn't always come off as a sign of virtue. Derek immediately gauges the Duke's level. A 5-star mage. He apologizes. The Duke leans back. Being too talented can end up getting you eaten alive. He studies Derek. You're not suited to be a tutor. Your age, your attire. Derek responds. I'm a mercenary. The Duke waves his hand dismissively. I don't care. My daughter recommended you, so I'll grant you permission to enter Diela's residence. You may go. Derek doesn't move. Instead, he asks a question. I'm a mercenary. When I take a commission, I see my duty through. The Duke raises an eyebrow. Why are you stating something obvious? Derek looks directly at him. I have a request to make. The scene shifts to a room. A plate is thrown. It shatters against the wall, barely missing a maid. The maid trembles in fear. I'm so sorry, my lady. Meanwhile, Iseline and Jaden talk in another room. Jaden asks the question on everyone's mind. Why Derek? There are so many tutors out there. Iseline responds, her voice tired. We gave every tutor on the continent a chance. Nobody was able to do anything. She looks at Jaden. Derek looked like someone who is kind. Someone who could help my sister become a mage. Jaden scoffs. Do you really think a person who was raised on the streets would be kind? The scene shifts. The Grand Butler and a maid lead Derek to Diela's room. He knocks on the door. No reply. He opens it slowly. Greetings, my name is Derek. Excuse me for a moment. A voice calls out from inside. Come closer. Derek steps forward. Splash. Muddy water hits his face. Diela sits on her chair, looking at him with an arrogant smirk. I thought some sewer rat came in. She stands and walks toward him. Are you really the mercenary the Grand Steward mentioned? You look like a sewer rat. She climbs onto her chair and pours more muddy water over his head. I prepared this just for you. Does it remind you of your hometown? As the water runs out, Derek just stands there, looking at her. Diela doesn't like being looked at. She kicks him hard. Derek falls to the ground. She removes her shoes. You stink. She throws them at him. Then sits back on her chair, crossing her legs arrogantly. Know your place, sewer rat. Someone like you teaching me? Do they not teach common sense on the streets? The scene shifts back to the Duke's office. A flashback. Derek stands before the Duke. The reason I'm here means Diela's problem can't be solved easily. I want to ask you, Duke, as someone who loves his daughter, how much authority are you giving me when it comes to teaching Diela? The scene returns. To the present. Slap! Diela's cheek turns red. She falls to the ground. Derek looks down at her. She's so shocked. She doesn't even know what just happened. Derek's voice is cold, commanding. Get up, you bitch.